Good morning, everybody. What is going on? Episode 95 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. I am your host, the Silverback Senpai. Across the table from me is none other than my co-host, Waluigi.
Good morning, folks. Feels like it's been a hot minute. How's it going, everybody?
Yeah, we skipped over 1 week due to there was an event here taking place at the arcade, but so that way we couldn't have our actual guest, but he's here today, and that is none other than the original Avatar. What's going on?
Good morning. Always enjoying your hot takes on the podcast.
That's the first time I've heard someone in person say this, actually.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Of course, y'all already know the podcast is going to be available on audio hosting platforms like Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and more. Just go ahead and Google South Florida Gamers Podcast and you will find us. And also, of course, video playback is currently being streamed on Twitch and YouTube, so you'll be able to see both of them as well after the podcast if you decided to miss the episode, the live episode, that is. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into the meat and potatoes of today's episode, and that is none other than with our guest, the original Avatar. So, with our podcast, we have a traditional fashion that I'm pretty sure you are very accustomed to, where we ask our guest, hey, what is your gaming origin story? Like, what got you into gaming? Give us your journey into how you became a gamer from the very first time you touched the console all the way up until now. Just like give us that full story and yeah.
Let's see, a gaming autobiography. Where to start? I was technically part of the Gen Z generation, so I was born into technology. So I actually got into gaming because my brother had the consoles, the Nintendo and all that. It was just all over the place. So you had to get into that ship. But growing up, I didn't interact with people much an introvert. But so gaming was my best friend, to be honest.
Right.
Right. So I went my first console, Game Boy, and
oh, okay.
Ooh, that's
right.
good.
And I was playing it every day, like Pokemon, some sort of Cartoon Network racing, and it's like enjoyed it so much, and enjoy the stories, enjoy the platforms, enjoy the journeys. Sometimes it's kind of like a life's journey for you with some of these games.
Right.
Yeah.
When you said your first console, of course, which was a handheld, which was the Game Boy. I want to know which version of the Game Boy.
Yes, the SP version, the clamp.
That's the best one.
Yeah,
That's the best one, in my opinion.
that is the best one.
Yes, very useful, carrying everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Like best part of this, and when you go on school trips, you could play it on on a school trip on a bus, and then if you're really sneaky about it, especially in middle school, you could hide it underneath the table.
Yes, I remember that.
I did that too,
I remember
actually.
that. I remember
Mom, if you're watching this, don't judge me.
Yeah, where
Especially
you would
games.
you would literally just have your Game Boy Advance SP. You'll be just huddle like
Casually.
this, and then you'll just have your Game Boy right here. Yeah. And play it I was guilty of that as well.
Yeah, I did about the DS too. I'm not gonna lie. Mom, don't kill me.
And of course, the best thing about the Game Boy Advance SP was the backlight, because compared to the previous models, you didn't have the backlight. You would have to buy the attachment light
Yes.
to see your game when you're playing in the dark. But with the Advance SP, which, man, I remember so many people having that just on the go, because you could just literally it was like your own little flip phone, but except it just had games on it. So you would just pull it out your pocket, flip it, okay, and just you're ready to go.
To swap out cartridges and such.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Man, I remember seeing those Game Boys that were decked out, or at least those accessories. There were way too many for one single handheld console.
Yeah.
Right.
That felt illegal at that point.
You remember those Game Boy accessories back then? Game Boy used to have so many ridiculous.
What was it?
Yeah.
The magnifying glass.
Yes.
Yeah, it had a lot, and then there were actually games we could actually watch actual TV shows on there.
Yes. There were cartridges. I remember.
Yeah, I remember watching Pokemon off of one of them.
Yes, it was a great cartridges. I remember that. That's why I distinguished demo.
Oh my god,
That was such a great time.
I feel like that was an installation of cartridges, or at least what promoted having like PSP, for example.
Yeah. It was just having media on the go, where you could just watch your favorite TV shows or even movies on your gaming device.
That's how I saw Final Fantasy Advent Children, actually, on the PSP.
Nice.
Anyway, so back to you.
And I do have one more question. Which Pokemon you started out with? Which version?
Unless you didn't start off with Pokemon, and that'd be a shocker.
Pokemon Silver.
Ooh.
Nice. Good choice.
OG. I
Good choice.
respect that.
Who was your starter?
I didn't know much back then, so it was actually Chikorita.
Okay.
Oh.
Solid starter. Solid. But continue.
Yes, as I grow older, best part about gaming is actually meeting the community. As you get older and start to interacting with these all these kinds of people, and of course, like it's like a cliche, like you have all these you just automatically get along with them because you have so much things alike.
Right.
Yes, and I'm grateful for my college days. We had like gaming groups and all that, and that's how much I was able to explore myself, go out more thanks to these communities.
That's sick.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good. Yeah, gaming communities, especially like the local ones, especially the ones at our school, are usually the best ones to go to because, I was in the same boat, same camp as well. Back in high school, in art class, we had our own little gaming group or whatnot, and some of the guys we would bring Smash Melee or Def Jam or whatnot back in the days and just game for like hours on end, even after school hours. We're like just there just gaming. It was such a great time.
Wait, in high school, did someone have the flash drive where you just plug in Halo?
No,
Mine did.
We did not have that.
There was a legit guy in my science class that would legit just have a flash drive of Halo, just play it.
And then you got to do local play.
No, what was even more chaotic was he literally plugged it in our teacher's computer, and our teacher let him play it in front of us, and he was ass. Actually, no, he started the first mission, but it was kind of funny just watching him play.
Like back then in my high school, we would have this flash drive with the Halo Combat Evolved, and we would do all local play, like 12 players, right there in the classroom.
Yeah, I missed out on that because back then we didn't have. I don't think USB drives were a thing back then.
Not really.
During my time because we were still using floppy disk. We were still using floppy disk back in the day.
We came around at the same time, so that's how I'm like aware of it.
Yeah, so that just goes to show my age, okay? Like, we didn't have the USB drives back then when Halo Combat Evolved came out. We were still using...
God.
We didn't have USB drives. We were still using floppy disk at that time. But I do remember when Halo, came out, and it was the thing, like, that was, like, the go-to game everybody was getting. Because, a lot of people end up having either a PlayStation 2 or a Nintendo GameCube at the time, so... Xbox come out, everyone's talking about Halo. I'm like, what the hell is Halo? What is this? And after you look at it, you're like, oh wow, this is dope. Whoa, look at the graphics at this. Man, I'm impressed.
Yeah, Halo was one of those FPSs at the time. The only, really, really good ones at the time was like Doom or like GoldenEye. But Halo as a FPS because I remember reading online about how development is like control sticks is actually really bad for first-person shooters. Like you're really better off with a mouse.
Mouse and keyboard, yeah.
You really are better off. I know some players actually use the motion controls on the game controllers because it's actually much better than the this joystick. They do that a lot with Splatoon. Because it's still hard to aim with control stick. You have to get the exact spot.
Oh, adjust sensitivity and such.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, AJ's not here to contest that argument with you because that man, he plays first-person shooters. I think the only one he played Call of Duty and
Destiny
and Destiny as well. But he's like I am never going to keyboard and mouse. Like if you watch the last episode when we had gracefully cosplay.
And I brought my fight stick and he doesn't want to use it.
Yeah,
because it's all keypad. It's basically a keyboard.
I mean, that's how controls born. You first go from a gamepad and then you develop it into a controller.
Some games can be accepted nowadays, but I find it hilarious that he does not want to give it a try.
No, even though we tell him that it's superior, like for first-person shooters, keyboard and mouse is the way to go versus controller because of the fact that, as you mentioned, it's very hard to aim with that mouse. Like you're moving really fast versus on the joystick, it's just like you have to like really adjust your thumbs to get that aim that you really want.
Yeah, I don't know which game actually implemented the auto aim implementation because joystick was so bad.
Oh, Apex Legends.
Was it Apex Legends?
Aim assist?
Yes.
I felt like it was earlier than that.
Could be Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, PUBG.
Yeah, and aim assist came like very early because of the whole joystick situation.
That's tricky. I wonder who it was actually.
Yeah, we could find out later.
Yeah, someone will let us know in the chat if you're watching who was the first. Appreciate that. But continuing off with your story with your origin story with gaming, what other consoles that you also acquired throughout your time, or what games that stood out to you as you were growing up?
Let's see. Growing up, I'm a Nintendo fanboy because like I don't know, say what you like, but they always make good quality games that lasts, timeless. Like you could go back to a 64 game, even SNES games, and it's still good up to this day.
Yeah. They do age very, very well.
It's like fine wine, as some would say.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. That's too dramatic. But they definitely held like well in preservation and stuff and cleaning processes. Man, I'm still laughing at the whole thing where you're not supposed to blow on a cartridge. Like we don't know that Nintendo know what they're talking about.
We still do anyway. It works. Like
if it works, it works.
It works.
Like one thing I saw in Uno, like you're not supposed to put two draw twos on top of each other. We still do it anyway.
Yeah.
House rules.
Exactly.
House rules are our own rules. I got
Yeah, so I grew up with Nintendo consoles. My mother didn't really like the PlayStation or Xboxes because quite violent and stuff. So I did it out of respect for her. So
That's understandable.
yeah, but I still got quality games on Nintendo consoles.
Yeah.
Yes, and one particular one that stand out for me was the Zelda games. Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
That's a hard one.
Okay, give us all right. Then give us three of your favorites, because I know there's a lot of them.
I would say Ocarina of Time.
Classic.
Yeah. Unappreciated one. Link to the Past.
Ooh.
Really, really good.
Yes, and I would say Wind Waker.
Really?
That's the first.
That was my first Zelda game, so it has a bunch of
You know what's
nostalgia for me.
understandable? Like you can start anywhere in Zelda, and you can understand what's going on or have a fair idea.
That's because they never cared about the timeline. Like no.
No, there's way too many internet junkies that will talk about the timeline. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There is an actual timeline, but the thing is, Nintendo, the developers always care about the game first, then the story lore.
Yeah, they add it later. It's like, oh yeah, 20 years later, Skyward Sword existed.
You see, but it's definitive. Like that one has to be the first one, but everything else is like an afterthought for them.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my, like there's just a whole list. Like Ocarina of Time just opened up a whole bunch of questions.
It opened up 3 timelines. It's actually insane.
Yeah, it still is.
Yeah.
I still consider that like one of the best Zelda games that ever came out. Of all games, and you ask anyone that has ever played a Zelda, like it's always mentioned either in their top 3 or their top 5. Like Ocarina of Time is always like in that high top game, because at that time, for a game as big as it is, and of course it's on the N64, you would not think that a game like this would not be possible on a hardware like the N64, but it was possible, and it worked, and people enjoyed it to the point where they're doing speed runs of the game like over and over and over again. I love it. And then of course you also, for me, Majora's Mask, I also love that as well. It wasn't not a lot of people enjoyed it, because it was like a different it was different, because you have you're starting off as young Link, and then of course once you get the mask you transform into different creatures or whatnot. But overall it was still a great game, but yeah, hands down, Ocarina of Time, best one of all time.
If it makes you feel better, my first one was Minish Cap
The only one
on the Game Boy.
believe it or not, that one's actually developed by Capcom.
Really?
Yes, it was developed by Capcom. It's one of the few Zelda titles Nintendo let out to other developers.
Interesting. I learned something new.
I did not know that. I was today years old and I didn't pay attention to this.
Okay.
So, like, I remember in an interview how Capcom wants to do another 2D Zelda game eventually in the future.
Oh, God.
I mean,
Capcom is in a good place right now. They really built themselves up, back from the early 2010 days.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
No, we don't. Those are some dark times.
We're trying to get sponsored here. Capcom, please sponsor us.
All right, so moving on. What games are you currently playing now?
Well, let's see. Like right now on my Nintendo Switch, I'm actually going back to the Battle Network series.
The Mega Man Battle Networks is
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Very
so here's
underrated.
my hot take. I actually like the Battle Networks over the Mega Man X games. So
Wow.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
As someone who hasn't played Mega Man, what's the difference?
Mega Man, so the Battle Network series is more of like an RPG. It's like a very
Okay.
unique mechanic where it has a 9x9 grid bar where you could just move around and, there's even a
Okay.
competitive online play where you could just battle each other. It's actually
There's
very-
competitive online play for this?
Yes, there is.
That's wow.
The Battle Network. And you have different chips and stuff to battle each other. It's like very
Oh, so it's RNG too. Like you can have random chips or
well. Yes, you do have random chips, but it's like, kind of like a deck.
okay.
Like a card game deck, and you could assemble different chips into to do the best you can with it. You should really check it out.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
And then for the PlayStation 5, I think I'm going back to Elden Ring.
Oh, you're prepping.
Yeah, you could say that.
You're prepping for the DLC.
you're prepping for the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started Elden Ring, I was like, okay, I'm almost done with the map, and then my friend told me like, oh, there's like more maps on top of it. And I was like, God, dang, and I dropped it because it's a lot of time. Right? Like it's a game that you want to explore everything. So
Yes.
I had other games at the time that I wanted to play, so like I dropped it, and I had you really need to go back to it.
Yeah, definitely. Elden Ring is that game where you are going to sit down and spend hours and hours on it because the fact that there's the exploration part, there's also the times where you die a lot and then you're and you need to get past a certain area so that way you can advance. So there's a lot of death in in that game. You're gonna die a lot, and then of course there's also the exploration, which is very rewarding. And once you get past that, you pass all the bosses, you finish the game. What's the end game? The end game is literally just what do you want to do? How do you want to build your character? And if you want to try a different class or go for a different build of your character, you can always do New Game Plus. Now, New Game Plus, everything is a little bit difficult. So,
What's stacked already is
Yeah.
more difficult.
yeah. That's why I enjoy these From Software games. And is that your first From Software game or you've played?
Believe it or not, my first one actually was Sekiro.
Sekiro dies twice.
Great game.
I still haven't
Great
played
game.
it. I have a backlog of a bunch of games.
I will tell you this, compared to other Souls games, Sekiro is completely different, but it is very difficult. And the thing is, parrying is the meta of the game. Once you master parrying, cakewalk.
Okay. That sounds
Got it.
terrifying.
That's the thing. Once you master parrying, everything else is cakewalk. A
Yeah.
lot of people struggle with the whole parry mechanic because sometimes their timing is off or they're not very reactive to it. So it's just like you got to be really, really good with your reactions because don't think of it as, all right, if I'm going to go up against this boss, I'm going to just go ahead and deplete his life bar. No, parry. Parry. So that way you build his posture meter up to the point where he's stunned and then you go in for a fatal blow.
Yeah.
Which depletes all of that health.
Damn.
Yeah. Seems easy until you use it in practice. You'd be like, oh, God, no. This
How good are you at parrying?
I'm like, okay.
Oh, okay. I had to ask.
I'm okay. I would say I'm somewhat nice with it,
Okay.
but I'm okay. But I will tell you, like, that game alone is going to really raise your anxiety levels because especially when you get really, really close to beating a boss. I remember fighting against the final boss, Ishin, the Sword Saint. When I beat him, I was just like, oh my God. I screamed because I hate fighting this dude because he has 3 phases. So you have 3 life bars you have to deplete. That's not easy. His first phase is slow. It's slow, but he can literally just kill you really quick. Second phase, it gets a bit challenging. Now he has long-range weapons. Third phase, which is the final phase, now you have the lightning, you have the long range, you have the close range phases that you had to deal with earlier, all in one.
Jeez.
But it's definitely worth it. So if you're interested, play Sekiro. It's also available on all platforms as well, except the Nintendo Switch.
So what's your build in Elden Ring?
I actually completely forgot.
Don't worry, that's just a random question.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. So, what do you just run with anything, or you just?
This was like my first game in like other than Bloodborne in we'll call it in this Farm Software. So I always go with the most balanced and basic ones.
Okay.
Just to make sure to get the gist of the game first to see what I really like.
Okay. So yeah. So you pretty much do what most people do, where they try to have all their stats equal, so that way they're more suitable for any type of situation. Which makes a lot of sense, because that's what a lot of people do. And then once they figure out the game, then they'll be like, all right, I'm gonna put more of my points towards strength, or more of my points towards stamina, or
Intelligence,
yeah, or dexterity, things like that.
Right.
All right, so our next topic is going to be, what are your thoughts on the current state of gaming? Give us your thoughts on the current state of gaming as a whole, and of course, myself and Waluigi will also share our points as well.
That's a hard question. Let's see. I feel like right now it's a battle between developers and the project managers, because everybody wants to get on this hype train for the live services. We see this a lot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because the thing with live service games is it's like a kind of like a lifestyle, to be honest. Like you had to go in every day, plug in, get the battle passes, because you can't have multiple live server games all at the same time, because you need a dedicated, loyal fan base for that live service game.
Yeah.
It's hard for people to leave that community when you spent like many years on it. I know it's like a actual live service game, but like it's an app game. Like Dokkan Battle came out like 2015. I've been on that for like nearly 9 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is it real? Wow.
Yeah, it's been 9 years. It's still
9
going strong.
years. That is impressive and terrifying. You don't hear about much often in certain games.
That what on people be
9 years straight.
No, that's
It's an app game. That's the thing. So they don't really last longer than 5 years. But Dokkan, it's Dragon Ball IP carries hard.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that series.
Yeah, it's a gacha game.
Oh yeah, gachas can last like an infinite amount of time depending on the users.
I would one, the users, and two, what does the actual game service offer? Because you can look at the biggest gacha game of all time, Genshin Impact, which has been out for years, and look how much success that they got, and the fan base that they've accumulated over time, because people, one, enjoy the story, people enjoy the characters within the story, they enjoy the lore so much so that they are invested in the game and everything with it. Now, of course, compared to other gachas, Genshin, for the most part, is really not that generous when it comes to giving out
Not at all.
like resources, loot, and things like that to their player base. So it's more of a grind fest for games like that. And I would read people's comments or listen to people's comments about Genshin Impact, like our co-host AJ.
Didn't you say he was going to cut away from that?
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. It's the fact that gacha games can really suck you in, because you really enjoy it. Like, you like it, and you want to see it better. You want to see where things go. I'm the same way as well when it comes to Nikke Goddess of Victory, because I'm in it for literally the lore and, of course, the story, because that's the one thing I feel like. Of course, the fan service carries the game, yes, but fan service, there are other games that do have like a lot of fan service, like way more aggressive than Nikke. But the thing is, once you get past the fan service, it's like, what else is left? Is the game functional? Is it fun to play? Because if it's not fun to play, then people are not going to really care about the fan service that much. They'll be like, okay, cool, and they'll just drop it and leave it. You can look at games like there's Azure Lane that has lots of fan service.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Blue
that.
Archive, lots of fan service. But
Then there's Grand Blue.
Grand Blue, same thing. Lots of Grand Blue, I wouldn't say is very aggressive with the fans.
Oh no, it's very like mixed.
Yeah.
Isn't Grand Blue like, super like a huge like in Korea and like Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's like when the first Grand Blue game came out, I was like, what was this IP? Like, how did we get here? Like, so I did some research. I was like, oh, this thing is huge.
Yeah, like I'm slowly learning about Grand Blue through either the fighting game or the newly released JRPG that came out.
Oh, Relink.
Yeah.
I'm still laughing because Americans get the Japanese version of the gacha game that you have to use a browser for and are obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I seen someone lost their mind when they have Naramaya in a maid outfit. Tanara, I'm calling you out later.
So I know we got lost in gacha games, but like, yeah, everyone's life. So as the biggest offender, this was the Suicide Squad.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
oh my gosh, that's such a weird thing to have a single player with a battle pass.
Right?
If there's multiplayer, which I'm not sure there is. do you guys-
No, it's 100% single player.
What the hell is the point in having a battle pass if you're the only one battling?
Exactly. It makes no sense.
If and all multiplayer would make more sense.
Now, if it was like now I will say this, like if it had multiplayer elements where you can play where it's just you and 3 other people that are joining with you, I can see the logic behind of introducing a battle pass in a game like that. But it's 100% single player, and you have a battle pass. You wanted to make it a live service game, and it's just like, no, that's not gonna work. I'm sorry, but single player games should not have battle passes.
Everything should just be earned.
Yes, like if I play this game enough or long enough, I should be able to unlock everything within the game without having to spend a dime on any of the
From like
microtransactions.
in-game resources or at least certain amount of kills or just unlock an achievement. Hey, you get this like the old times.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do I want to spend an extra $60 on 2 different seasons with a different character that's going to be revealed every few months?
Exactly.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about developers and what the project managers or business people want in a game. Like everybody wants that Fortnite money. Let's just be honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very easy. You just pot swap. The one day one of PC games, you see mods for different outfits. It does it very easily. So if you could do the same thing with a game and make tons of money out of it, yes, let's do that. But the problem is, yes. Live services is something you need a loyal fan base. You need a player count, and it's just like it's getting oversaturated to the point that it's like,
There's a lot.
yeah,
Everything is a battle pass. Even going outside requires some kind of payment. What was I going to say? I know the DC fanboys are going to hate it, but yeah, it should literally just be earning your skins and such.
Yeah.
Because if you deck out your character, who else is going to see it besides the stream?
the DC
Or-
fans as myself don't really like the Suicide Squad either.
Yeah, and then I just heard like that in that universe is that Justice League, that's their first mission to fight Brainiac, and they just got their ass kicked. I've been like getting spoiled by the game, and I lost my interest already.
Right. I think my best way of watching that game is I go to this YouTube channel called Dartigan. He does this thing called Game Sins, and he does a really good he does a really good job. He calling out all the different bad stuff in each and every game. So I highly suggest everyone watch it. Very good takes, very funny, brilliant commentary. I suggest he just released the one for Suicide Squad, so I'm gonna watch it during the week. But
I'm gonna wonder how many sins were committed.
I was probably the best one I've seen was his Final Fantasy 16 one, which was like literally a movie, because like 90 minutes long.
It's 90 minutes of sin.
Yes. Yes, and I know there were people that were hyping the hell out of Final Fantasy 16, like, oh man, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be potential game of the year. And I'm just like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Because I have Final Fantasy 16, and I'm just like, no, this game is not game of the year potential. And I've said it in previous podcasts before that the icon battles where you're fighting as some of the big monster characters and whatnot, those are fun. Those are fun, but everything outside of that, my God, as you said, cutscenes, super long, and I'm just like, oh my God,
I kid you not.
Get to it.
For someone to cut scenes, I fell asleep.
Right.
Weren't it that
actually-
boring?
Yes, it's really that bad.
What?
Yeah.
Let me guess. Idle conversation that has nothing to do with the game, and then it has something to do with the game later. Then some kind of earthquake kicks in.
No, it's like none of the characters has personalities. Like
Yeah, they're just like very
Dull.
monotonal.
yeah, dull and just. I mean, you have like maybe one or two characters that are like somewhat.
Can we do some spoilers? Or-
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Why not?
Okay, so the only character I actually really liked was Sid, and then he
Yeah.
got killed off earlier.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yes, and then we'll call it the final villain, worst final villain of Final Fantasy series ever, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah. He wasn't boring.
Okay, like from like in Darkin videos, like you literally find ChatGPT.
You're fighting ChatGPT.
That's what he sounds like, and that's what he is really.
Yeah. Like he's not an intimidating boss. Like usually when you play a JRPG and you want to go up against the main villain, you want like the villain to have like some kind of personality. Like what is your motive? What is your drive? Granted, yes, you do get to learn about the main villain's motive and his purpose or whatnot, but it's just like,
It's so monotone and robotic. Even sounds robotic.
yeah.
Is he a robot or no?
No.
Some
Oh,
sort of
that's
weird
sad.
alien thing. Yeah, they said something they did similar to Fantasy 4 and 6, but much worse.
Square Enix is on some shit this year.
Yeah.
They are, but like
And then what? Bringing another Final Fan. Is it a DLC for Final Fantasy VII?
No, it's like another game of Final Fantasy VII.
But with Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, I'm like, what the hell is this?
It's interesting with that game because
Is it?
I myself withdrew myself for not buying or purchasing any of the Final Fantasy VII remakes because I'm like I've already played this game on the PlayStation when I was younger. I already know the story, but with this remake, I believe they're telling a more different story. And a lot of things are different that are not a lot of things that are new that you did not get in the main story. So it's just like in a way they're like kind of telling the same story, but they're like expanding into like new other ideas. So that's gaining my interest. I'm thinking, maybe I'll give it all right, maybe I'll give it a second.
Was it not Tifa in the bikini?
No.
Oh, okay,
That was way before. That was way before because I had,
joking.
yeah, because I had a couple of my friends that were telling me about it. It's like the story's the story's different. Yeah, it's going in the same usual direction, but it's completely different. They're doing it in a much different way, and you have the gameplay with it that is very good, very fun to
Yeah, it looks fluid.
yeah, and he said that he said he's enjoying that more than Final Fantasy 16, which is like the latest of the Final Fantasy games. And he's like, I'd rather play 7 and play the new one that's going to come out along next to it, which is later this month, and just go with that. And I was like,
Why,
you know
why do I
what?
feel like every Final Fantasy 7 is the saving grace?
Literally.
right. Well, we gotta watch out because apparently Rebirth is going to get Nomura.
Oh no.
Yeah, because yes, it's taking an entirely different direction. So like I have to play 7 Rebirth first to do my really hot takes, but one thing I don't like is at what they implied at the end of 7 Remake was Zack is still alive.
What?
What?
You guys never played we'll call it 7 Remake?
No, I play Crisis
No.
Core, but
I played Crisis Core too. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of 7 Remake, it's implied that Zack Fair is alive.
You know what? That's why my friend told me, like, the story's different now.
I mean, look at it.
oh my god, that put a tear down my eye. What the fuck?
Game cover art even says that. You see like Cloud at the middle, then you have Sephiroth at the left center, and then you have Zack at the right.
But isn't Cloud have Zack's memories?
That's why I'm kind of worried because that's an entire point of 7. Like the identity crisis with Cloud and him trying to overcome all that.
So what the fuck is Cloud doing?
See, that's why it's like,
Oh my god, I'm tearing up over the stupidity.
yeah, that's why it's like,
Square Enix.
I want to play it, but at the same
Now, it got
time,
Nomura. That's the new word for it.
like, I want to play it. I want to know
my
the
God.
story and see where it goes, but it's like, at the same time, it's just like, I might get myself into some bullshit.
I'm not going near it.
And I'm just
get
like,
spoiled like a normal
and then,
person.
and then I think, I don't know if you said it, like, Final Fantasy 7 is like being carried, or
Yeah, I did. It's a saving grace.
yeah, it's the saving grace, and it's like you don't see that with any of the other classic Final Fantasy games. You don't
You
see
know how much art there is of Tifa, Aerith, Cloud, Sephiroth? And so
endless,
Even
endless.
Smash Ultimate, like
Yes.
out of all the Final Fantasies, which one they chose? 7.
7, yeah.
yeah. I mean, you have Cloud and Sephiroth, which were in 7. And Kingdom Hearts 2, which was mostly led by Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, it's
I don't know
like-
what to tell you guys.
But
It's like, what about
wait, isn't
one?
Sephiroth like the only
he's the
enemy that you could play in like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2? Like not play as, like you could actually fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only one, and I'm just like,
And that's one of the hardest bosses.
there are like other Final Fantasy characters, right? Like other villains.
At least fight some of the summonings, the entities like Ifrit and such, or
Not even the summonings, but
even
like
Lich.
characters from Final Fantasy 1, characters from Final Fantasy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, we could have Kefka. No. Ultimecia. No.
Kefka-
Golbez. No.
You could literally fight the Lich from Final Fantasy 1 or something simple.
So I'm just like, I don't know.
Something that doesn't need a voice.
But yeah, as y'all was saying, like Final Fantasy 7 is the saving grace of Square Enix, and they're like milking the hell out of it. And the remake is the thing that's carrying them. Yes.
Let's but potentially for Kingdom Hearts 4, we need to put Jack Garland in that game. He'll sweep it so freaking fast.
And what's funny enough for anime fighting games arena, Naruto Shippuden is like the same saving grace.
Oh yes,
The more you think about it, that's the same Naruto
the-
that's been out for like 20 plus years.
Yeah, the Naruto Storm series. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But-
they have great single player. That's with the same great. Like
Yes.
it's, it's very cinematic, looks very great. But like honestly, we need another Clash of Ninja series.
Yeah, yeah. Granted, I will say, because I bought all of the Storm games, and I mean all of them. I have not gotten the latest one that has came out yet, but I have bought all of them. I have played all of them. And yeah, I agree with y'all. Yeah, like
It's like they have to have a
The single
staple
player-
character.
yeah, the single player is very good, very cinematic. I love it. And just the gameplay itself is it fits. It works. But it's just like, man, you get so tired of seeing it so many times.
Yeah,
And
like how many more times? How many Naruto games are there? Like 8, 10? Maybe even greater than that.
Oh, all right. Let me think of it. There was Naruto
I'm
Storm
gonna
1,
Google this.
Naruto Storm 2, Naruto Storm Generations, then Naruto Storm 3, then Naruto Storm 3 Full Burst, then there was Naruto Storm 4, then there was Naruto Storm Naruto Storm 4. Yeah, that's the last one, and then you have Naruto Boruto Storm, and now you have the new one, Connections 8.
I found out on Google how many video games there are. 47.
There's 8 Naruto Storm games, and I remember on the PS2, that's how I got into Naruto. There was no Naruto Storm, but it was Naruto Ultimate Ninja,
Yeah.
and it was 2D, and I loved it. I wish Bandai Namco, whoever did the 2D version,
Oh my God,
they
man.
need to bring that back, update the graphics, update the gameplay a little bit, and boom, you have a new standalone fighting game similar to Dragon Ball Fighter Z. You give us that, easy millions.
Yeah,
Actually-
there are over 47 different Naruto games.
In my opinion, the next anime fighters game should be a Final Fantasy based one.
You know,
Yeah,
not a bad idea actually.
Yeah, I mean,
but we do have 2D or 3D? Because
2D.
2D. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since there's been a 2D one.
I'm not a fan of the Dissidia, so I know what you're talking about.
Understandable. I was thinking about that.
They fucked up on the latest one, and I was a huge fan of the other two the City of Final Fantasies that were on the PSP. It's like good. What the fuck? PSP ones are good because it was only just single player, and if you wanted to play multiplayer, you had to do that ad hoc thing with the PSP, so that way you and another person could fight against each other. But it was
That's
one
not
on
gonna
one.
work.
The latest one, Dissidia Duos, Dissidia, I forgot it.
And T, what's like that?
Yeah, NT. It was 3v3,
Ouch.
and the online, bro.
That must have been ass.
Yeah.
Not only it was ass, but you had to wait to get people to join in,
Especially
and then,
Wi-Fi warriors.
That, and of course, if they're ass, you have to carry the entire team.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so staple characters in certain games are perfectly fine. Like fighting games are a grand exception.
Yeah.
Naruto can stay in his lane for some extents, but if you call it Naruto X Boruto, it's still Naruto no matter what you say about it.
Yeah, because Naruto's name carries the series.
Like-
without Naruto, Boruto's like,
Yeah.
I have way too many hot takes on Boruto. But it's a gaming centric, so let's stick with
You
that.
are fine. But
Okay.
yeah, stable characters are perfectly fine and different in like the same series. But if you bring crossovers and have the same characters from XYZ in so many collaborations, it feels pointless.
like 2B from
Yes.
Nier Automata.
I didn't want to say it, but yes. The fact she's in 3 different games.
No, more.
Yeah,
Besides-
what was it?
Grand Blue,
Oh,
Soul Calibur, her own game. What else have I? Oh, Nike.
she's in Nikkei.
Nikkei. So 4 crossovers of just 2B instead of what? 2A?
Hold on,
I feel
I
like
got-
there's more.
No, yeah. 2B is in a lot more.
I'm sorry, what?
I gotta find it. Where is it? Oh, let me check my Twitter.
You're fine. But that's hilarious.
That's another
Yes.
favorite crossover.
Yeah,
they'd like to
staple
do.
characters in certain games. If it makes you buy it for the fan service. Because watching 2B do her like ultimate move, I know people are down bad, catastrophically. They don't pick the character because of her skill. They pick it because of her ass.
I have a couple friends who are like that. Yeah, Nier Automata is one of those games. It's one of the ones you have to play in your room.
Yes.
You can't really play in public. If you do, I commend you for being that, degenerate.
What
Why are you looking at me?
What does survey say?
I'm trying to, bro. I am trying to look for it.
I'm trying to think. There was more crossover characters. I mean,
Probably more gacha games, honestly.
yeah, it's mostly gacha games in all honesty, I'd say. But I still say like.
Wait,
Soul-
was she in like Under Night or something like that? Some sort of other anime fighting game?
I don't think Under Night. I don't think Uni actually. Uni,
No,
I don't
it
think
can't
got
be
the
Uni.
licensing.
I know for a fact it's Grand Blue and Soul Calibur.
I'm trying to think more crossovers. Like crossovers are nice and all, but when you bring the same fucking character in the same adaptations of the games, the funniest one I'm going to say is Lars from Tekken in Naruto.
No, yeah, that was so random.
It was so random, but he deserved it. He fit in awkwardly.
Yeah, he was the awkward character. I forgot what Storm it was, but yeah.
Storm 2.
That
There we go.
That's like a hilarious crossover in all honesty. I'm trying to think because there's a lot. Like Star Wars and Soul Calibur had one I thought was godlike.
The Star Wars. I mean, we all remember too with Link. I believe
Yes,
Heihachi.
and Spawn.
Yes. Yes.
From each, depending on which console you got one of those 3.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the days like that are gone. But
Yes,
I
they are.
understand.
GameCube with Link, PS with Spawn, and Xbox.
No, it's PS with Heihachi.
Oh, okay.
And then I remember there was a rumor back then, and it was not supposed to be Heihachi. It was supposed to be Dante, because I believe Devil May Cry came out around that time.
I would have loved that game so much more.
Yeah, me too. Like, ooh, Dante and Soul Calibur. Why haven't they not done that yet?
You know, that's a good question. He would fit in an awkward situation.
Yes, and he had all different weapon types. He would fit very good in that game series. And another one they should do is actually Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes.
Okay.
That's chaotic. I like it.
All right.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna name every game that. All right. I just said fuck it. I'm gonna just Google the damn thing. Yeah.
Yeah, crossovers in games. It's all over the place. It just depending if it fits well. NRS had so many different collaborations. It's ridiculous.
They do it every MK game.
Yeah, like there was a horror
Starting-
segment from MKX. MK9 was purely random.
Yeah. Believe one right now they're just taking the WBR IP and putting
100%.
anything.
Warner Brothers, Amazon.
God damn it! I just lost it. But continue.
Yeah, I would say Warner Brothers, Amazon.
Yeah, being part of that studio, they have a lot more freedom to take from every IP to get to, oh, that's why they
11 had 80s or like IPs from the 80s,
right.
80s, 90s.
I mean, Ed Boon also wanted those characters in
Yes,
that
he
game.
did. I feel like he did not want. Well, I could be wrong. Y'all can correct me later, or if you send this clip to him, I'm sure he probably won't even mention anything about it. He's usually a troll like that, but that's not important right now. But I'm sure he would not want Peacemaker, Homelander, etc. Like, I feel like that was a Warner Brother executive decision. Because I don't think anybody asked for Omni-Man, even though he's great and all. It was a cool feature from Invincible.
Okay, I'm just gonna name these.
Go ahead.
I'm just looking off the post. 2B is in Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. She's also in Soul Calibur 6. She's also in Nikke. She's also in Last Claudia. She's also in what is this game called? Naraka something. She's also,
that Chinese.
yeah. She's also in Punishing. She's also in Fall Guys. She's also in.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Fall Guys Club. That's so stupid.
Valkyrie Autonoma. She's also in that. She's also in War of the Visions. She's also in
Why does it like every MMO?
Final Fantasy 14.
She's in 14.
Yeah.
Who's Zero from Drakengard?
She's also in Babylon's Fall. She's also in Star Ocean. She's also in Rainbow Six Siege.
What?
Collaboration.
Yeah. She's also in PUBG.
Oh yeah, collaboration.
Yeah, like she's in a lot of collaborations.
Surprised I didn't new COD yet.
Don't give them any ideas.
You know, I actually
It's a-
respect his decision.
And I'm surprised 2B is not in Fortnite yet with the amount of collaborations that game has.
They also had a near setting. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like saying. Collaborations, they could either be extremely bad or extremely good.
Well, we're in the new meta right now for as far as gaming goes. That's the new meta where if it's a multiplayer game or it's a really popular game, everyone's like doing collaborations.
Oh wait, remember 2 years ago or a year ago when we talked about anime and shooters?
Yeah.
I still have not forgot about that.
Yeah.
It still scars me.
Yeah,
to this
and
day.
here we are now. Fortnite's the best one to do it.
Call of Duty tried Attack on Titan.
Oh my god.
Do we not forget about that?
That was horrible.
I'm glad we can now clip this so people can be like, oh yeah, Call of Duty is the best game. Attack on Titan's great too. And they're going to save us completely realizing that one, they had the Colossal Titan skin and then Levi. Where I said, that's not Levi, that's just Leave. I remember saying this exactly. And I knew I forgot Shooter specifically. Still funnier ones like, I'm trying to think of more crossovers that's happened over the past besides Smash, with it being the biggest one.
One they do like to do a lot is actually Resident Evil.
Yes. Dead
Which is-
by Daylight is known for the collaborations, but
Which is understandable because Resident Evil is actually more of a Western IP than more
Yeah.
IP in popular in Japan.
that's what I find hilarious, actually.
The Japanese players are not much into horror games.
That or they're not horny enough for certain characters. You know how many American-made mods there are for Jill?
Endless.
They're endless.
Endless.
Yeah, I can say it's definitely a Western.
That
game.
is a rabbit hole you don't want to explore and go down.
No, but we've seen things.
Yeah. But when you said games as a live service, I think we also touched on that topic like a lot where that's like the new forward trend because
It
everyone
is.
because everyone wants to make money and they're doing it in ways where it's like very predatory to where you're giving us not a complete game, you're giving us not even half of the game.
It's not even. It's paid patch notes, is what it sounds like.
Yeah. Literally.
Right. Yeah. In my opinion, for developing companies from the moving for now, it's just make a good game. That's all you need to do. Just make a good game. Good game, like I said, Nintendo Timeless sells over and over and over again. You don't
Yeah.
have to do any work
Yeah.
on it. It just sells over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was I going to say? Rockstar has been cooking up GTA 6 for the past few years, and they keep releasing the same GTA 5. They know that game is going to sell, and it will most likely last another 20 years or so.
Yeah, because they know that they have a formula that works, that they know their audience. You know what people want, and you try your best to give them what they want, so that way in return you make profit off of it. That's the best way to go. And I think a game that has really overexceeded a lot of people's expectations because it wasn't on a lot of people's radar was, and I'm pretty sure you know where I'm gonna go with this, Helldivers 2.
Yep.
Yes. Thanks to you, I actually really want to try the game.
It's worth it. I got convinced by him, and I ended up playing it. I'm still liking that our tweet. that the tweet I mentioned you has like over 200 likes still to this day. Like it just keeps liking. Because I'm like, yeah, we got some business to handle with a handshake. I'm like, that's all I posted.
I actually really want to try the game. When I heard, I'm not too keen on PvP because I am not the best.
Yeah.
When I see like PvE and see, I was like, you know what? This looks kind of good. I gotta try it, and it actually encourage people not to play because they're literally suffering from success. It's way too much people on the server. It's like,
and they're like, you know what? We're gonna fix this now. And just yesterday, they now have 800,000 like capacity now of players.
Yeah.
So you can immediately just jump into a game, if anything.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm probably gonna do that later today. I really want to try it out. So,
Yeah, you'll really enjoy and love the game. Granted, I do have fun playing with randoms, but it's even more fun when you play with people that you know and
God.
you have a mic on. Have a mic on. That's a game where it's, I would say,
teamwork.
recommended to have a mic on because there are just going to be some situations where, meanwhile, we've been through them already to where
We used to panic on like easy.
Yeah,
And now we're on like medium, and I went on challenging last night.
same here.
I cried last night challenge mode because I carried a level 4 and a level 5 in my team.
Yeah, because when I say there's gonna be a point where you're gonna get swarmed by so many enemies, and you're just thinking, "Oh man, this is hopeless." And one of the worst things that could happen is a teammate kills you.
Oh, they have friendly fire?
Yes, friendly fire, and it makes it so much better. I'm just like, don't turn this off because if anything, this makes the game a lot more enjoyable because now you have to be mindful where you're shooting, where you're dropping your strikes at, so that way you're not killing your teammates. Because if you kill your teammates, guess what? Now that's one less enemy the enemy has to worry about. And now they're gonna come after you. And now you're running around. And you're like, oh god, I gotta call my teammate. Reinforcements.
You had to get him back.
Yes, but yeah, like a game like Helldivers 2. A lot of people. This game was not on a lot of people's radar until it slowly started to pick up. The game comes out, people are playing it, they're having a good time, they're having a blast. A lot of people are making a lot of content of this game, posting on social media. And it's picking up storm. People are interested in getting in the game because the best part about it, as you said, it's PvE, not PvP. And I'm happy it's that way because now you and your buddies can play with each other and have the same objective. Just shoot a bunch of enemies and try to extract and get off the planet, and then try to level up your character.
It's a grind. It's a self-sufficient grind if you choose it to be. It's only a PvP if you decide to shoot everybody in your squad.
Yeah, literally.
I guarantee there's going to be like modes like some people to like do like a thing collaboration like last one standing wins and just actually try to shoot each other. I can see some people doing like something like that.
Yeah, true. But
that's a good content too.
But the negative is the fact that you lose XP.
Oh.
So it's like if you really want to level up your character, you're trying to get as much XP as possible. And the harder you play the harder the difficulty, the more XP you get. But it's not going to be easy because the fact that now the enemies are going to be harder because now you're going to have even bigger enemies that's going to take a lot of ammunition to dump into, a lot of resources that you're going to have to continuously use to keep them away. So it's like it's mandatory to have a solid team. Everyone's working on the same page and y'all just tackling the objectives so that way you can just complete the mission, extract, get off the planet. Everyone gets off 100%. You got all the resources that you need, and that just helps you boost your levels.
Yeah, the guy who develops it is super freaking cool. Pilestead, I think is the name pronounced. Mm-hmm. Shouts out to him. The CEO of Helldivers and Arrowhead literally is real as hell with everybody. He'll acknowledge everyone's art. Like, that's good communication for like a game itself. Like, if you're a CEO taking acknowledgement of other people appreciating your work and saying their comments, feedbacks respectfully, that already tells me enough that one, your game is going to thrive and the community will stay.
Yeah.
That's crazy how you have a game surpassing multiplayer on Steam.
Yeah.
Multiple games such as GTA, Rainbow Six Siege. Games have been out for years in less than a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very transparent. That's what I like about about him.
He's freaking insane with transparency.
And his team is less than 100 people.
Yeah. I'm still laughing because he just straight up told somebody, hey, please don't spend your money yet. We're still working on it. That'll break my heart. I'm like, damn. That is the realest response that you've heard from anybody.
And you don't even get that from big AAA studios. Like, hey,
Oh, Ed Boon will remain quiet or block everybody that jokes. Because he's known to be a troll, and when he gets trolled back, oh yeah, blocked.
yeah, and they wonder why is this game that's not a AAA game doing so successfully well? Is because they want to make games fun. They don't want to nickel and dime players for every little thing in the game. They want to give players a complete game, a great experience to the point where they're going to support them for years down the road. And the best thing about Helldivers 2 is the fact that I bought the game at $40 on PlayStation. You can get the game for $30 if you're on PC, and it's crossplay with
Still the same price, but I got mine for like $36 on CD keys.
Yeah. And it's like, this game alone is better than any $70 game that I have purchased. With the amount of fun that I am having with this game, just on a multiplayer level, I've gotten my money's worth. Hell, I'll buy some of the DLC that you got.
Hell yeah.
Because you put out a very good product. You put out a really good game compared to these $70 AAA games where it's just like,
Or the quadruple, what was it called? Skull and
Quadruple A.
Bones. Skull and Bones.
oh yeah.
Oh, fuck Ubisoft, respectfully.
Yeah, like, oh my God.
They butcher too many things, especially with Assassin's Creed.
The Ubisoft is now associated with the word mid at this point. Like
Yeah.
Ubisoft can never go above mid, other than Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Can never go above mid. I mean,
Siege is the only thing they have that keeps running, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Uno.
yeah. I mean, the only thing I will generally play from Ubisoft these days, like the Mario and Rabbids, until it goes on discount. Like that's the thing with like $70 games. They like this game's like up in the next tier level, but it's like I know how you guys work. You guys are going to discount in the next 6 months, and I have enough patience to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you should.
I'd rather get the game on sale.
Yeah, I don't see the point. I think my only breaking point was like Nintendo, and they're very stubborn, and they work very well.
There's no such thing as discounts in Nintendo.
Yeah,
No.
you're going to either purchase at full price, or wait till the holidays and pray to God to do a discount.
I
Yeah.
still can't forget. I pre-ordered Animal Crossing New Horizons many years ago, and the only reason I got a discount was because the employee was cool with me. That was it. Shouts out to that guy, anyways, but that's not important. What was I gonna say? Helldivers is also crazy with the super credits. You can either buy it or earn it in game.
Yeah.
I was reading someone had $62 worth of super credits just from playing the game. Because you go in the game, you can find certain bunkers or bases that will have like currency. And the currency usually is used to get cool stuff, or if you get like 1,000, you can go to the premium selection of weapons and such. And that's what I'm grinding for now, just without spending another time.
Yeah.
And a game, and like the developers are cool about it. Like, yeah, you earned your stuff. Congratulations, and get it.
Yeah.
I actually learned all this stuff from this YouTube channel called Spawnwave. Very good for like people going to work. He does a daily news thing at 8 o'clock in the morning. I put it on my car, and like you get all the best gaming news from him.
That's
so I
actually
highly suggest subscribing to him.
Ooh,
Spawnwave.
got it. I do need something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Our next topic is, what are some moments that you had to be there? Give us some moments that, occurred with you as you're gaming that is like, you know what, you had to be there for this moment. Like, what are some moments that you could share with us?
I mean, most of the times came from me in my, as you know, I used to play Smash competitively.
Yeah.
Like, I remember my first win, shout out to DGK. This happened with him, actually. It was my first tournament at Flynn's before you even start hosting. And I lost to a game, so, like, it was very close. It was like, I had to reset the bracket.
Oh, wow.
And, like, yeah, and it was, like, really close, like 2-2, last stock, and we were all, like, both kill percentage. And, like, and I just somehow got I'm a snake player, up to the end and somehow win the game and took over the tournament. Like, you just had to be there for that.
That's always a good moment. Like tournaments, you're always going to have a great you had to be there moment, whether it's later on or like back in your past.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it's one of those things where just like, oh man, I remember I had this really great that incident or moment that I had while I was gaming, whatnot. For me, it was last night. I'm playing Helldivers 2 with some of the Warhammer guys, and if you watched my Instagram story, I posted it last night before I went to bed that as we're extracting off of Mavalon Creek, or as people call it, Space Vietnam, we didn't complete all the objectives. I think we were just one optional objective away or whatnot. So we got everything done, like all the outposts destroyed, whatnot. We're extracting, we're leaving. We have this big ass Hulk enemy coming towards us, and I'm chucking grenades at it and whatnot, right? And then after that, it burns me with its flamethrowers, thus killing me. And then all the guys just get just extract and leave.
Oh my
And I am
God.
screaming like, no. Oh my God.
Right, I got another one actually. It was this time when Halo Infinite came out.
Oh.
So like me and my friends, in the middle of the night, we're playing the X thing where you had to take the little thing and track it to your base.
Right.
And this was like beta, like when Halo Infinite first came out, and like I don't know what happened. It was like a glitch or something. So the final egg or thing was stuck somewhere on top of thing, and nobody could get it.
That's
So we were
stupid.
playing for like 2 hours straight, just killing everybody. I think one of my buddies got like 200 kills in that single game, and it was
my
no longer a
God.
game of a winning. It's a game of endurance. Like whoever leaves. The only way the game could end is everyone on the other team had to leave. So we were
That's-
just trying to. It's horrible. It was a game of like whoever leaves first wins. So it was like we kept on playing until the other team gives up and just starts leaving and left the game off.
That oh my God, that hurts my psyche just thinking about it. I would have just went AFK and just waited.
Yeah, we decided like, oh, let's do 100 kills first. Like let's just keep on going. Like no, we're gonna go until they leave.
Right.
I'm still laughing. Like a good "you had to be there" moment for me was last week when we were first playing, and you're screaming, and I heard you die. I'm like, oh no, like I'm just so nonchalant about it, and now I'm the one screaming in my friend group because I had my teammates play, and that was the funniest thing. I'm carrying them and challenging. They're level 4 and 5, which is very low levels, and me and my buddy Parsa are level 10 and 15, and they're running to the extraction points, and I'm behind them, running away from bugs and trying to destroy one last nest that's medium-sized. And we had 3 minutes left to the countdown. Extraction starts. I'm literally just blowing up everything I see. Running away. Then I had a Tesla tower. Once we get there, we were just layered up from gantries to everything else. I only died once. Everyone else died. But the funny thing is, it showed friendly fire damage.
Yes.
You know how high my damage was?
Oh, it was ridiculously high.
Yes, because I have a guard dog, which basically shoots around surroundings, and it may inflict on other teammates because of friendly fire. Everyone had 117, 147. I had 2,500 from the amount of damage I've done. I'm like, all for a greater cause.
Yes.
10 out of 10, I would play again.
Yes. But yeah, if you ever get Helldivers, man, I do recommend it. If we do get to play, cool. But even with next month, there's more games coming out next month. Like this month and next month, and then of course April. It's so many games are coming out. Good games that I really want to play, and it's just you want to play them, but it's just you don't have enough time.
Right. I mean, the only one that's really on my radar next month is Rise of the Ronin.
Same. I'm getting that day one.
Rise of the I forgot about that game.
Okay, my only gripe with it is it's made by Koei Tecmo, and the last game they made was literally 20 years ago with Ninja Gaiden.
No. Because last year they made Wulong Fallen Dynasty.
That was good?
Yeah, it was good. And of course, they're the same people that made Neo 1 and 2.
Well, that was Team Ninja, though, right?
No, Koei Tecmo, I think, is the
Publisher.
And then, yeah.
Okay, so with the Team Ninja, I believe...
Team Ninja, yeah, they did Wulong Fallen Dynasty and Neo 1 and 2.
All right, that gives me a little more confidence.
Yeah.
I know like what really Team Ninja is like. They don't know how to write a good story, but they know how to make a good gameplay.
Yes. Like, yeah, story-wise, it's like, it's all right. But the gameplay, oh, I love it. I love the gameplay because it's different from, you could say it's kind of like Souls-like style, but it's completely different and it's more action-based than a Souls game. And that's something I really enjoy. Wulong Fallen Dynasty, I played that last year from start to finish, and it's challenging. Like, especially when you get like towards the later end of the game, oh, it gets really, really challenging to the point where it's just like you have to be really, really good with your execution. If you're not, you're consider yourself dead. Like, you can literally get one shot.
Dear God.
Has there ever been a game where people just play for the story and the gameplay was or bad? Anyone can think of an example?
They play for the story and
the
not the gameplay.
That's tough because one or two would have to affect the other,
Yeah.
where people stop playing it.
I know people stopped playing the game because the story was so bad. I mean, best example, Metroid: The Other M. I know that was a huge one. People stopped playing the DMC, the one we don't talk about because
I forgot about that. Number 2, the one that's non-canon.
Oh, Devil May Cry 2.
Was that the one you were referring?
No, DMC, the one with the different version of Dante.
Oh, that Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
the gameplay was good, but like the story is like,
Oh yeah, it was atrocious.
yeah,
It's a disaster. That was a Capcom miss.
that was during the dark days.
Yeah.
The darkened days. That was like 10 years
Because
ago.
Capcom at that time wanted to go in a different direction with Devil May Cry.
Well, during
After
that
4.
time, they actually wanted to appeal more to the Western audience. So that was the
That's not even West. That was past West.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what the hell y'all are thinking about with that game. And myself, as a Devil May Cry fan, I don't know if you've played any of the Devil May Cries.
I absolutely love the series. It's like the combos and all that. It's just like it feels good. It feels great.
It's aesthetic when you get smoking combos or triple S.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I remember like when I think this was during the PS4 era where Capcom did like a remastered HD remastered version of both of the Devil May Cries. Devil May Cry, I think they did
1, 2, and 3, I think.
no, I remember. They did a HD remaster of that Devil May Cry, the reboot version Devil May Cry, and then they had a special edition of Devil May Cry 4 because because Devil May Cry 4, you can now play as Trish, Lady, and Virgil.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you can play as all of them, and I was like, I'm guessing Capcom wants to test and see which one is gonna do financially well. To see, all right, maybe we'll do another Devil May Cry, and which one, which one did well out of the two.
Plus, anything with Virgil, everyone's a sucker for.
Oh yeah, literally. So that's how we got Devil May Cry 5. I was just like, oh, this is gonna sell because
That's how we also brought Adam in here.
oh, that is definitely gonna sell because one, we now have a Devil May Cry game where you can play as Lady, who's just nothing but just guns and whatnot. That was the first time. So you have that. You can play as Trish because you can play as Trish in Devil May Cry 2. And now you can play as Trish again in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. And of course, Virgil.
The replayability is what made it so valuable.
Yeah.
Oh, especially with Virgil. I remember replaying DMC 5 Special Edition just because Virgil is like such a fun character. He really
Yes.
is.
I still have not played 5, and I have to start. I think after TNS, I'm definitely going to give it a go.
It's a debate whether 3 or 5 is the best version.
Ooh.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Because I played 3. I played up to 4.
Okay.
The regular edition.
Right, so a lot in the community is like either I think 5 is the best one in my opinion, but
Yeah.
I understand why 3 is up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if they made a HD remaster of 3, and they gave Dante all of his styles, like the one that they have
they
on the
did that.
Nintendo. No, because for Nintendo Switch, yes, but for the PlayStation, they never did. They never did, and I was mad about that. I was like, why could we not get this? I would love to play Devil May Cry 3 Dante and switch all of his styles. Like,
Oh, Oh my god, that would have been beautiful.
Yeah,
It would.
So the DMC3 Switch version was actually my first version. I was shocked to learn that in the old versions you cannot switch styles, even
Don't
guns
it?
at that time automatically. It's like what? You guys had to play like that?
Yes.
Yeah. And the Switch version of Devil May Cry 3, you can also play 2-player.
What?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
And the Bloody Castle, it's actually weird. Me and my friend did it the other day. So one person could play as Dante, and the other person could play as Virgil, and you could do it in the Bloody Palace. So.
Yeah, I was like,
Bro, I will
Oh, no,
buy
I was
this.
so salty about
Okay,
that.
if you get it,
Automatically
I will
best
get it too,
version
so we
of-
can try that.
Was that?
Unironically, the best version, the Switch version.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You don't hear that as often.
Yeah.
But if you buy it, I'll buy it too, so we can try this out.
Yeah, because I was just like, I want this on either PS4 or PS5, but they didn't want to do it. They gave it to the Switch. I'm just like,
They're bound to give it a PS5.
how much is Nintendo paying y'all for y'all to have this exclusively?
They were probably at gunpoint. Let's be real here.
Actually, Capcom hates doing exclusivities these days.
Yeah, because I think they realized that they needed it back when they were going through financial troubles. That's why Street Fighter V was exclusive to PlayStation and it did go to Xbox. It was PlayStation and PC at the time, crossplay, but it wasn't available.
It's actually went way back in the GameCube eras because, believe it or not, Resident Evil used to be exclusive to GameCube.
It was.
Yes, it was. Resident Evil.
But I think
Zero-
they added PS2 later.
Yeah, they're like, oh wow, the GameCube sucks. Still sucks so badly, and then we have this super awesome game, Resident Evil 4. Like, and
Resident Evil 4 was also available on
PlayStation
2.
PS2 and Xbox.
Was
yeah,
it
it was only
before-
later.
Was it
up?
before or
It
after?
was only later. They
Oh.
added it to it. Like, oh my god, like this game is not selling well. We had to play on this one platform because the GameCube only like 20 million copies sold. So we had to port it to these other consoles in order
Oh,
to
okay.
make it back. Because Nintendo had an exclusive deal with Capcom to put only Resident Evil games on the GameCube. Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil remake, the first one only on GameCube at that time.
Oh, okay.
Resident Evil 4 only on GameCube.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
it's
that
like
makes sense.
there was actually a little Easter egg where Shinji Mikami, the creator of the Resident Evil series, like I would cut off my own head if my Resident Evil 4 came out to other platforms. And I believe it's in what's the game called, The Evil Within, where you have a little item that says like Shinji Mikami's head or something like that.
Interesting.
Oh, so it came out a few months afterwards, actually. Because Resident Evil came out on January 05. And then Resident Evil 4 released on October of 05. That's crazy. There was that much of a delay instead of a full year.
Interesting.
Wow, that is interesting. I didn't know this.
Interesting.
It came out of GameCube first. That's the last thing most people would expect.
Yeah.
But don't underestimate the GameCube because, believe it or not, out of all three, GameCube is actually one of the most, probably the best powerful console at that time.
Yeah.
If you look at most of the games like Sonic Heroes and most third parties, all of it ran better on the GameCube. Tales of Vesperia, 60 FPS on the GameCube. Other games, 30. Other system was 30.
You're the first person.
Interesting.
You're the first person here to mention about Sonic Heroes. Holy shit!
I like Sonic Heroes. I know it's
that was
cheesy.
that was a fun game. They remade it on Switch. I think I would play it.
I mean, yes, it's supposed to be Sonic Adventure 3, but I liked it. I like Sonic Heroes.
I love
Same.
the team switch concept in each story mode.
Yeah.
I loved it too. I had a hell of a good time with that game.
Yeah,
Brought
but
back
like
a lot of good memories.
like even Tomb Raider ran better on the Switch. It had better wide mechanics and everything. And that's Switch on GameCube.
Oh, okay.
True. I didn't think about it like that.
Interesting.
Plus, the emulations are insane that people are still doing it on GameCubes.
Yeah, if you will, where's the PS2 or GameCube, the game will run better on the GameCube.
That's disrespectful, and I love it.
All right, our next topic is pet peeves. What are your gaming pet peeves? Tell us, what are some things in gaming that just bother you, that just annoy you, that just irks you? So tell us your gaming pet peeves.
Oh boy, where to start? My pet peeves like for instance like the Zelda games or something like that. Tedious task that makes you not want to play the game anymore. I know, like for Wind Waker, I hated the Triforce shards. I would literally play the game up to that point because looking for the Triforce shards was so horrible. Like those little chore, moments, and like that's so boring that you want to just drop the game. I remember playing Batman Arkham Knight. Mm-hmm. Why I stopped playing the game? Because of the Batmobile missions. It was so bad.
Yeah, tedious missions suck.
It's mostly for a clunky chunk of metal. That's understandable.
Yes, I know the Arkham Knight game was mad good, but like the Batmobile missions was just so bad. I can't stomach it, so I just dropped it.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, that's why some people don't like Assassin's Creed 4 because it's mostly on a boat.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who actually don't like the boat missions, even though like entire point Skull and Bones was based on Assassin's Creed 4 boat thing.
What else?
I would say like microtransactions. I know, not actually other way around because like it's your money, you could do what you want with it. And as someone who works a 9-to-5 job, I understand. You don't want to do the grind, you just want to play it. So like I know they did that for like Resident Evil 4 and Devil May Cry 5. We could just buy credits and get the weapons easier, but they do it because I mean it's not affecting you. I hate when people complain about stuff that's optional.
Yeah.
Like they're not forcing you to do it. I know it can be predatory, but if you have enough will or strong willpower, you don't have to do it. Like I never spent a single cent on that stuff, but you know, as someone who works 9 to 5 and don't want to grind, it'll be just much easier for me.
Understandable.
Yeah. Only reason, I think, like the most recent reason we didn't like the microtransaction was because of Mortal Kombat 1, where you had to grind a story mode just to get one character and then go through a few missions just to get the side characters or the cameos. But then later on, after a week of the game, they're like, oh yeah, you can do this for $20. I'm like, that just wasted 3 hours of our time.
Yeah.
So would you prefer wasting 3 hours of your time or pay $20 for it? That's
3 hours of my time.
Yeah, you see, you got the option, so it doesn't matter.
I know, for $20 for a game that's barely fixable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another pet peeve. But then, like everything's locked behind DLC. Remember back in the days, I remember like reading how in KOF 99 you had to do like this weird button combination to unlock Iroi and kill.
Yeah.
Like I miss those days where you had to like that secret route you go to just to unlock something that reward.
Yep.
Like there's like I'm a type of person who loves 100% of his games and find out all the cool stuff behind it. But like nowadays, it's just locked behind DLC or something like that.
Yeah, because that's the new way to get more money out of people is just, hey, we're not gonna give you we're not gonna give you a lot. We're gonna give you like possibly bare minimum at best, and we're gonna charge you for more.
Right. I mean, I feel like that's we'll call it. Like I remember back in the days, like I remember how like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and DBZ BT2 was super hard to get around because you had to do all these type of stuff just to get him. Like I miss those days where you had to work for those things. And I think another one was Melee, like where you just don't. And ultimately, you just play the games and all that. You keep on playing and you get all the characters. But like in Melee, you got to do a whole bunch of other stuff just to get the characters, like the mission modes.
Oh yeah, you just have to play the game.
And then Mewtwo, you got to play like 100 times. And like in Fox or something like that, you got to play like Marth in the story mode until unlock Warrior, something like that. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Wow, I lost my train of thought in this.
I was gonna piggyback off of you with the Mortal Kombat situation to where. Yeah, I did not like if you were to buy Mortal Kombat 1 right now and you want to play offline multiplayer, there's only going to be 2 characters available for you to play, and that's Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Everybody else, you have to go through story mode and play completely to unlock everybody else.
Redundant.
As a TO, that is fucking annoying. Because I have to also get Mortal Kombat 1 on multiple consoles, so I end up giving one to Waluigi and one to Herbs and be like,
I wanted to kill him.
Unlock these characters, please and thank you.
Even Forceface had to do it. 3 of us that aren't even from this area had to do it.
Because it's so tedious. And
that was the funniest
thing.
And
it's like when it comes to fighting games, and especially if you want them to be, super competitive, have the base roster available, and if we have to play through story mode to unlock, I don't know, 1 character, fine. I can cope with. But if it's like 90% of the roster, I'm like, dude, why?
That's overkill. That's overkill right there.
Yeah, we literally had to grind on very easy mode, which took 2 hours.
And then then I had to also force y'all to play the stupid invasions
I
mode
forgot to do that.
to unlock all the cameos, and I'm just like, my thing with Mortal Kombat 1, all the cameos should just be available right from the jump. All the base roster characters should be available right from the
In
jump.
fact, it shouldn't be an online game in the first place.
I understand you want to get people to play your new mode Invasions, but I'm gonna keep it a stack. That shit's ass.
No one's gonna play it.
Like, no. Like, I'm sorry. Invasions suck. The towers that y'all had back in MK11 and even MKX were much better than the stupid ass Invasions mode that y'all had. The crypt in MKX and MK9 was a lot better than Invasions. So I personally feel like, as a Mortal Kombat fan, because I grew up with the game, I've bought every Mortal Kombat, I've played every Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 1, huge disappointment. And
I fucking missed a crypt, in all honesty.
Yeah.
The exploration side of it, where you actually get to explore graveyards, actually see the bonus stuff you get that are random, and then the
Right.
jump scares.
And on top of that, the additional skins, like your character's secondary skin.
You got the Rio de Janeiro skin. Wait, no, that's DLC. I'm sorry. You get like additional colors, different skins, different artworks, stages, etc. Like you earn your shit.
Now, when it comes to skins, especially in Mortal Kombat, it's just, color palette swaps or whatnot. Boring, whatever.
Then you're able to change 3 things: weapon or equipment, skin, and then like facial.
To me, it's just nonsense. It's just
really dumb.
stupid nonsense in the game. I that's why when I tell people, like, if you ask me what's one of my favorite Mortal Kombat, it's X. Mortal Kombat X, because I think they did everything right.
I say X and 11 are my 2.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel
11
like most gaming channels, like I know, like Jay Wong or Maximilian Dude, always put like X at the top of the list when it comes to MK games. Actually,
Yeah.
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 You had 3 different variations. There's no custom variations, and then for 1, you have no variations. You just have a cameo that switches up your sauce or like your go-to routes.
Yeah.
It was quite a headache.
It definitely is.
But for transactions,
yeah, I can see why it's a TO nightmare for MK1 now.
Bro,
it was the worst nightmare for most people.
It is. Like, imagine you're gonna have a Mortal Kombat tournament of 50 people, and now you need a lot of Mortal Kombat setups. You have the consoles for it, but now you got to get all of the characters and DLCs. That's a lot of grinding for one person to do, and
A lot of friggin' money.
And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to spend $20 just to unlock everything right from the front. As you said, like, let me input a code to unlock all the characters and just be done with it.
Konami code.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, like, let me get that and I'll be done. And that's it. Just give me that. Or if not that, give me the base roster right from the jump. You had it right with MK9. You had it right with MKX. You had it right with MK11. MK1, oh no, you're gonna have to play. You're forcing everyone to play through this dog shit ass story mode. Okay, MK1 story mode is not that dog shit. It's
decent.
It's okay.
It's not the best, but it's decent.
But what they like this is something a little off topic, but I am tired of timeline changes, multiverse. I'm tired of that shit.
That's a pet peeve right there.
Yes, I am tired of it. It is so outplayed. It's like. Are you creatively bankrupt to the point where, all right, we're going to reset the time? Why?
Sounds like a Disney scam. I'm not wrong.
Like, why reset the timeline or change the timeline to fit a new era? Like, I hate that. You had it right with MK9 and X, and you fucked it up with MK1 by MK11. You fucked it up with a boring ass villain named Kronika, and then MK1 reset the timeline because now it's Liu Kang's era. Cool.
And with Kronika just still there.
No, it's not Kronika. It's Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung dressed as Kronika and switched out.
It was. I actually like MK1 story, but I understand the entire point of the home timeline. It doesn't feel like a reboot. It feels like it's continuation from 11. In my opinion.
It's Liu Kang's version of what 11 should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I understand why stories have to go do reboots and all that. So like my hot take on in Tekken 8, that should be the final Tekken. Like the story was mad good. I actually liked it how they ended it, and then with the ending scene with what's her name again? Reina? Is her name? Mm-hmm. Her being like the daughter of Hachi. Like, I don't understand why we had to keep on milking the story on and on. We could just end it there and just do a different story on it.
Yeah.
True.
It looks like they closed it off.
Yeah,
it looks like
Tekken 8, they could end the entire series right there, and it's just like, I feel like that's the thing with like DC, like Marvel comics. Like, you can't, for instance, like Batman, you can't do a continuation of a story of for 70 or 70 years. That's why you have different interpretations of the same character.
Or at least introduce like a new generation to where the older generation is now passing the torch to a new generation. It's like you're still continuing the story off of your first previous generation, and it's now coming into a new generation.
They did that with Tekken 3, but the problem is they're so scared of fan base who are, loyalists, purists, and all that.
Yeah, and I also think that's the reason why the story after MKX into MK1 wasn't as good, because I think people still wanted the same usual characters that they've known throughout the years. I'm fine with that, but I also want to see like new characters, like fresh new blood, and see how you're gonna flesh them out. Because for most of us, especially people around my age, we grew up with Mortal Kombat, and there wasn't much of a story unless you're going through,
reading the bios of the characters,
the bios of the characters, playing in finished arcade mode, and you can kind of get like the gist of it.
Also, see their endings of what ifs and such.
Exactly. So. As the years have gone by, people are now getting an understanding of the Mortal Kombat story, or of how things to be. I still believe to this day Mortal Kombat 9 told the best story of Mortal Kombat, like the best, because it was like, okay, what we had previously, it was just like jumbled up or whatnot.
It was like they ended up...
They never cared at first, never cared until, yeah.
Deception and Armageddon, then they ended at Armageddon. I'm like, okay, that's a good way to start off with.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this fucked up, let's go back.
And then they rebooted it back, or just, rewind it back and be like, all right, we're going to change some things real quick, and this is going to be the new continuation story. And that I liked. And then, of course, MKX followed up with MK9, and then MK11 followed up with MKX, and I was like, and as I said, I told the story so many times. Like, I still did not like how they treated Raiden, because Raiden was gonna go more towards a darker version of him. I would love to see that be expanded, but
he was only in one chapter that he was so evil.
I know, and then Kronika comes in, and I'm just like, oh my god, y'all butchered it.
Yeah, they definitely did.
Missed opportunity.
And I'm glad Tekken's on a train on bringing certain dead characters back to life, even though it has happened a couple times.
I mean, do characters have to be part of the story all the time? I feel like that's what they did.
DLC is the reason, baby. That's
not every single character has to be part of the story. Like, they could just be characters that we like and just be part of the right roster. Not everybody has to be part of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they made DLC for certain characters and such, and interactions, or later on the playable. But what I do like about Harada, he's just like, yeah, Heihachi's dead as hell. He's not coming back. Even the voice actor died as well.
Yeah.
Of him. So that's the main reason, because he doesn't want anyone to replace Heihachi's voice.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's what you call like a good executive move.
Yeah. To where it's like you don't want to bring the character back because of the original voice actor passed away, and if you were to bring that character back, it would kind of be like a disservice to the person that voiced the character for so many years. And I completely get that, and I respect that.
And I think that's also why Reina's in play as well, because she didn't learn from Heihachi. She studied in Mishima Polytechnic School. Yeah, I love Tekken. There's some more questions than there are answers.
Yeah. But, you want to keep things interesting. And, of course, you also want to respect the lore so that way people can follow it for years to come and continue to keep telling the stories of said game.
Yeah, but why can't we just take the series and go back to the roots and do a retelling of it? Kind of like
Soul Calibur.
That's what they did in Soul Calibur?
Yeah, they did another storytelling. 6 was the last one they told about. They retold the story in a different way.
Yeah, they do it for like a lot of comic book series. I know they do it for the new Trigun anime. Mm-hmm. not the same. It's not a remake. I guess you could say it's a remake because they're just telling it in a different way. You can't just keep on ticking the same story and just grinding it out. It just kind of destroys. It kind of disrespects and destroys what has been said in the past.
Right.
And then if you remake it, you have all that previous timeline or previous
Continuity.
and then now you know what to do with it, and some plot holes and all that you can fill it out and make it more fleshed out too.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's doable. As long as it's not another Final Fantasy remake for the 17th time.
Right.
I just no more 7, like something different.
Remake
We're
one.
going-
Remake
we're
the
going to get
original
one more
one.
7.
Yeah.
It's a trilogy.
Yeah, 7 is getting beat to the ground. At least 8, or maybe 1, 2, and 3, or maybe 6.
They
Because
did remake one. Let me be technical.
Okay.
They did the.
They did a prequel of one.
They did a prequel of one.
What do you think Stranger's Paradise is?
I didn't know it actually.
That's a prequel of one.
Because one, they had it on the SNES. Then there was the Game Boy version. Then there's the DS version, and they cut it off. But I didn't know Strangers of Paradise wasn't.
no, I didn't either.
That's the origin of Garland.
Ah.
Yeah.
The more we know.
But overall, enough of 7. I understand it's the most popular one, but
Yeah, remakes will always be one of our biggest pet peeves.
unless it's a game series that you want to be remade, like
I'm looking at my watch now. Like, watch it be 2 years later, and there's gonna be a GTA 6 remake.
oh no.
No. I give it 5 years, probably on our 300th episode or something. I'm not gonna mess with this. Watch, it's gonna be within 5 years.
Listen, the only remakes that I would like to see, remakes or remasters I would love to see, is some games from the PS3 era. Give me Resistance. Give me Infamous.
I almost
1
already
and
said
2.
SOCOM.
SOCOM, yes. Give me that. 3. And Jak and Daxter. That's it. 4. That's it. That's all I want. That's all. Give me Jak and Daxter
that's not gonna
because,
happen. You know Naughty Dog's gonna.
yeah, Naughty Dog's not going to do.
They're gonna look at this, laugh, pass by. Hey, here's The Last of Us again.
Oh god. I didn't know Naughty Dog did Jak and Daxter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like one of their earliest games, I'd say.
I always know them from the Uncharted and Last of Us.
Better choices, but still.
If you ever get a chance to play Jak and Daxter, like you'll be like, now I see why people love this game a lot, especially Jak 2.
Yeah.
After 1 and 2, like 2 takes a complete in a different.
the exploration.
Yeah, takes it in a completely different direction. But 1 and 2 are just like, mwah. And then 3 was like the seal.
It was like a sequel of it.
3, yeah,
They
3.
should have closed it a little bit better, in my opinion.
Yeah, 3. I think 3 closed it really good, and then of course you had like Jak X, which was like,
The racing game.
yeah, and then you had Frontier, which was like, what the hell?
Then there's Daxter to spin off, which was
Yeah.
more fun.
Yeah.
I want to get a PSP again.
But other than that, we're gonna go ahead and start to wrap up. Is there anything you wanna, ask, say towards the end of the podcast? Plug in your stuff,
Hot takes.
hot takes that you want. Any last words that you want to say? The floor is yours.
I don't really have to say I enjoyed the podcast again. Very great conversations. Great. Now I know more. That's always fun to do.
Exactly.
I got nothing else to say.
Aw. It was fun having you, my dude.
Oh, Luigi.
It was definitely fun having you. Always great to start like another Gen Zer with different like takes and different games and stuff and cultures. And looking forward to see what you're going to compete in next or play.
Thank you. I mean, technically, I am Gen Z, but the earliest Gen Z since I'm in '97.
I was 96.
So you're like only 1 year difference.
Yep. That's why I said it like that.
All right, and as for me, well, as y'all know, thank you again for being a guest on our podcast. Greatly appreciate it. Again, I apologize for not having you on previously, but things happen here at the arcade to the point where, hey, if I can't have the episode, then we have to reschedule you. But hey, I'm glad that you came out today, and we got to have this conversation. And for those that are watching, I do have a special announcement I want to say. Next week, Sunday, of course, we're not going to have an episode. And the week after that, we're not going to have an episode. And I'll give y'all 2 reasons why. Next week, Sunday, myself and Waluigi, we will be at Tampa Never Sleeps, CEO Edition in Orlando. And I plan to bring the podcast there.
Oh, hell yeah. This is going to be a lot of fun.
So, but I'm going to do things a little bit differently, though. So I'll keep y'all informed, and you'll see the content of that when that happens. And the Sunday after that, which would be the 10th of March, that is my birthday. Yeah. I'll be turning 36. So I will not be doing the podcast on the day of my birthday. I'm going to be out of town for
You're that old?
Yes, I am that old.
Why? No.
Fuck you.
No, I'm kidding. I had to hit you with the herbs at least once. A little bit of herbs came out of me. I am so sorry.
It's all good though. But other than that, yeah. So next Sunday we'll be at Tampa Never Sleeps. Most likely it's not going to be streamed because we're going to be in a venue. There's going to be a lot of people.
A lot of noise and such, but
yeah,
I'm sure we're going to get some people to us, or we're going to plan it out. But if you see our Instagram stories or on Twitter, come through.
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll be seeing that. We'll be making posts of it. And I do have some content planned for that event. So, yeah, South Florida Gamers Podcast is going to be coming to Tampa Never Sleeps CEO Edition beginning on day one of the event, which will be that Friday. So I'm looking forward to seeing y'all there. I got some interesting topics that I'm going to want to talk to you about.
Well. I got topics too on this hand. This is going to be a lot of fun.
So that's going to be real interesting and really exciting, and I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah, spread the word. South Florida Gamers Podcast is coming to Tampa Never Sleeps this Friday.
Coming to a local or venue near you.
And with that being said, we are going to go wrap this up. This has been episode 95 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. Thank y'all all so much for watching and tuning in. We are going to catch y'all on the next one.
Peace.